A Challenger 604 aircraft is being prepped for a transatlantic journey to the United Kingdom. The flight crew consists of a 51-year-old captain and a 58-year-old co-pilot. Also on board is an additional company pilot, not qualified on the Challenger 604 and not part of the flight crew, observing for transatlantic experience. The aircraft and crew take off at 10:15 for a flight to Fort Myers Airport in Florida to pick up a passenger, and 25 minutes later, they take off again to West Palm Beach Airport to pick up another passenger. The aircraft departs for the UK at 12:59 after landing at West Palm Beach at 12:30. The captain, who has been with EPS Air Service since 1968 and is the current director of operations, completed his aircraft rating on the Challenger 604 series in 1999 and is one of the 4 company pilots qualified to fly this aircraft. Designated as the pilot in command, he typically occupies the left cockpit seat, but company policy allows a qualified second in command to take the seat at the captain's discretion. Hence, the co-pilot was allowed to sit in the left seat and operate the aircraft. After an uneventful flight, November 90, Alpha Gulf arrives at Birmingham Airport at 20:39. The captain decides to refuel the next morning for the planned flight back to the USA while parking the aircraft on the western apron. Overnight, the temperature at Birmingham remains below zero with a minimum of 9°C. The sky is initially clear, but becomes increasingly cloudy after midnight.
After landing, the crew checks into a nearby hotel at around 21:15, consuming alcohol between 21:44 and 23:15, before retiring to bed around 23:30. The following morning, after a rest period compliant with regulations, the pilots return to duty to prepare for their flight back to the USA. The handling pilot and the observer arrive at the aircraft around 10:40. Evidence shows the APU auxiliary power unit was started around 10:50. The APU, a small gas turbine power plant, supplies electrical and air conditioning systems when the main engines are not running and its exhaust gases exit through the right side of the fuselage. The captain arrives around 11 o'clock, and both crew members conduct separate external inspections of the aircraft. Refueling begins at around 11:05, with the tanks filled by 11:40. The passengers from the initial flight board and the aircraft doors close, but witnesses observe ice on the wing surfaces. Ice on aircraft wings is highly dangerous, as it can cause stalls at lower angles of attack and higher airspeeds. Discussions in the cockpit recorded on the voice recorder revealed the pilots noted frost on the leading edge but did not request de-icing. Cleared by air traffic control, the engines are started at 11:56, and the aircraft taxis to the runway 5 minutes later. The captain makes all radio calls during taxiing. Takeoff with flap 20 is normal up to liftoff, starting rotation at about 146 knots, lifting off at 153 knots. However, the aircraft rapidly banks left post-liftoff, reaching a 50 bank angle into seconds. Despite attempts to counter the rule with full right aileron and rudder, the stick shaker, alerting an imminent aerodynamic stall, activates. Unable to maintain control, the aircraft strikes the ground inverted. Investigations ruled out power plant, fuel imbalance, flight control malfunction, and structural failure as causes. The flight data recorder indicated the wing's abnormal airflow due to frost contamination led to a stall. Frost on the left wing, likely exacerbated by heat from the APU on the right wing, caused the asymmetrical lift leading to the accident. The crew missed de-icing likely because they deemed the frost minimal and not affecting aerodynamics, or they believed it would melt pre-takeoff. The presence of diphenhydramine, a sedative antihistamine, in both pilot systems may have impaired their judgment and attention. Combined with alcohol consumption the previous night, their ability to manage the situation was likely diminished.